Okay, I'm going to do number 4 in this video, and then there'll be another link for number 5. Okay, so there's 2 ways I'm going to show you how to solve it. One is using the formula we learned twice, and then the second one is maybe a more logical way of doing it. It doesn't matter which way you choose. I would watch both and see which one you prefer. Okay, so if we're just drawing things out, our dilution is going to be, so it says we need to make this solution, which is going to be our dilution, right? And so we need to make 250 milliliters of this, and the concentration will be 0.20 molar. We're going to get the solute from this stock solution, okay? So this stock solution, doesn't matter how much there is, but we know that it's 1.0 molar. So whatever we take out, there's going to be 1 mole per liter in that volume. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually solve for the number of moles here. So like, how many moles of solute do I need? And it's so if we know that there's 0.20 molar, and we know there's a quarter of a liter, so 0.25 liters, we're going to figure out the moles, right? And so 0.2 times 0.25 is 0.005 moles. Well, where are we going to get 0.005 moles? It's going to come from here, our stock solution, all right? But we don't know how much volume to put into here, into our dilution. So the way to think about it is, if I know I need to put 0.05 moles, and I need it from this solution, which is 1.0 molar, I can figure out the volume this way, right? And so if we do this, you end up X equals 0.05 liters, which is 50 milliliters, which means the 0.05 moles that we need to put into our dilution is equivalent to 50 milliliters of 1.0 molar solution. So our answer is 50 milliliters. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so it's almost like you start with the dilution, solve for moles, and then take those same moles and solve for the volume from your stock. Here's a second way, and this is the way I like to do it, using proportions. So I'm taking a 1.0 molar stock solution, okay? And I'm going to dilute it. I'm going to dilute it to 0.20 molar, okay? So I'm diluting this. If I take 1 divided by 0.2, it's 5. So I'm diluting this 5 times, if that makes sense. So maybe not putting times 5 is great, but it's in another way, I'm like, if I take 1.0 and I divide it by 5, so I'm diluting it by a factor of 5, I get 0.2, right? So I would take 1 divided by 0.2 is 5. Which means that out of the 250 milliliters, right, of the total solution that I want to make, 1/5 of that, right, 1/5 of that should be the 1.0 molar stock solution. So if I take the 250 and divided that by 5, I will get 50 milliliters. Well, what does that mean? That means out of the 250, 50 milliliters will be the 1.0 molar stock solution. Right? Okay, and you can solve it that way. And then the other 200, or a little over 200, because when you do this, it's a little weird. The other 200 will be water, right? So you're almost saying, hey, to go from 1.0 to 0.2, the dilution factor, we call it, is 5. Therefore, only 1/5 of my volume, my final volume, should be the stock solution. The rest, the other 4/5, will be water. Either way, it works, but anyways, hopefully that helps.